Welcome to another episode of Lifelong Learner. This is the Out of Class edition with Ben, Janesh, and Matt. Hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Lifelong Learner Out of Class edition. We're joined today by Matty and Benny. Welcome, fellas.
Mate, good to see you. Good to see you, Matty.
Yeah, good to see you, boys. Feels like it's been a while. What a pleasure.
It's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and apologies, my black T-shirt is in the wash. I did scurry around the house this morning to try and get it, and I was like, it's next one, I promise. Next one. We'll be there.
Benny and I on a switch. We'll be wearing white.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, guys, you told me black. How have you been, Matt?
Mate, well, very well. Yeah. Just doing my thing, mate, you know. I actually bought this is a good topic. I bought a van, a four-wheel drive van. I don't know if you've heard of a Delica before.
Yes.
Oh, it's the ugliest thing in the world, but versatile. This thing can go anywhere. So
it's a Toyota or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Mitsubishi. So it's got the Pajero. Mitsubishi Pajero is the running gear.
No way.
They take the top off it and put a van on it.
But you do see those. You see those around, particularly when I was up in far north Queensland. There was quite a few of those driving around.
They're hideous.
And I was always wondering, are they like real? Are they just kind of a jacked up van? Like, what are those other vans called?
Like a hiatus.
The only other one that's like it is the Sprinter, $65,000. So So this is the cheap four-wheel drive option because they're old. It's 25 years old.
So what's the plan? Oh yeah, how much?
It's hard to tell because the world's a little bit crazy at the moment. I think.
How much did you pay for yours though?
Yeah, I got it for 15.
Yeah,
which is reasonable. But I feel like maybe 2 years ago it would probably be worth 10 grand.
So hold on, you're 15, but you'll probably be able to sell your ute for probably 18 or 19.
Look at you, can't help it.
I'm just saying.
Just keep opening up that.
It's a sports car that's collecting
I'm hanging
dust.
on to that car. That's going to be a collector's item. Once fuel stops, that's going to be $1 million car in about 25 years.
They look like chalk and cheese compared to each other, but they're only a few grand. Who would have thought? Wow.
That's good value, Matty. 15 grand, and you got yourself four-wheel drive, somewhere to sleep.
I'll send you some pictures because it's a fun little project. Kat and I have redone the floor, take out all the seats. We've done a vinyl floor. We're going to build cabinetry and make a camper van out of it.
Nice.
What is it normally inside? Just seats?
8 seats. So It's a people mover. And some of the seats swivel and do some cool stuff, but we've pulled them all out.
So you've just kept the 2 front seats, or how many seats have you kept in?
Yeah, we've ditched everything else, but it's got this crazy 3D swivel in the second seat, so you can spin your seat all the way around, sideways. So we're trying to work out how to take the swivel out of the back seat and put it in the front seat, so then we could have a swivel.
While you're driving.
So the second person could swivel around, and then you could have a bench seat, and then you could have play cards, drink inside the van, that kind of thing. But it's not roadworthy if you do that. So
I was just going to say, Mr. Engineer at Vic Roads, just don't listen any further.
But there's quite a few people that there needs to be a disclaimer. I hope you don't listen to the podcast.
You can stop listening. One of them. You can stop listening now.
Yeah.
Mate,
we'll do the swivel after.
What's news in your world, buddy?
Oh, mate, there's been a bit on this last week where things, in Victoria, things have opened up now for a couple of weeks, but it's, I think, seeing some friends and family over, which has been nice over Cup weekend, which was just having actually people from Melbourne over, which was great. Lots of fun. Weather was great. But something is challenge, irking, charge, all of the above, is the when something is off for so long, right? And there's no hey, we're going to go through the gears. It's we go straight to 5th gear, and things take time to ramp up, and people take time to ramp up, which at times can be quite challenging and frustrating. Matt is smiling because he knows what I'm talking about. Where you would think being dormant and shut down, everyone's ramping to go. But, mate, it's like balls dropping left, right and centre. But I'm talking to some other people I'm not the only one. Like, people are just don't want to go back to work. People, industries are understaffed. Like you go anywhere for service or anything, they're like yep. Like yesterday, one place we went for a coffee 4 times, fucked my order. I was like, oh, okay, cool, all good. I'll come back tomorrow. All good. I'm just going to go down the road and not come back, pretty much. But I was like, fuck, guys, come on. So that's been interesting. It's been interesting not to still be supportive, but also go, oh yeah, it's a challenge for me not to sympathise and empathise with that.
Sounds like a little bit of Helsinki syndrome.
Talk to me about that.
People being in their homes too long, not working, getting money. Now they don't want to work. They just want to chill at home and get the money. That sounds depressing.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a big chunk of that, like a big chunk of that. The challenge is we came out of lockdown for Melbourne Cup, and we know that...
was that the Melbourne... I missed that.
Melbourne
Cup was last week.
Yeah. That's pretty much when things have opened up in time for Melbourne Cup. Mm. And traditionally in Australia, particularly because we move into summer after Melbourne Cup, and then we also move into Christmas shopping, Christmas conversations, mince pies are in Woolies. People move into holiday party mode. Business owners start to get a bit... they start taking the foot off the pedal during November and into December. Team start taking their foot off the pedal. It's the time to start winding down, ready for Christmas and Christmas holidays. And so we've come out of lockdown with a huge amount of apathy, with no momentum, with no energy, with a loss of hope, with a loss of vision for what our life might be, our career, our business. So many businesses have been smashed over this period, and their dreams for how 2021 was going to turn out have been just wiped. So they've come out of all that, and it's like, oh, thank God it's Christmas. Let's celebrate, shopping. Let's party, let's shop, and let's do Christmas. Now more than ever, with the clients that I coach, it's ramp up. Now go harder. Push harder. November and December, you want to go full on. You want to go full on because everyone else is going full off. Blast through Christmas into January, and in February, take your foot off the pedal. Yeah. And so, I wonder how we install that mentality in people that are coming out of the lockdown, both our employees, employers, other business owners, and just people in general, that they start getting some rhythm and some momentum and some acceleration back.
How would you say, to catch off there, Benny, but how have you been saying to your clients on how to get their excuse me, their team there to go, to be full on, and be okay with going, you know what, we're running a little bit lean right now. It's not going to be lean forever, but we're running lean now. We're usually the owner or the executive is running like full steam, but it's hard at times to expect everyone else to go that 0 to 100. How would you say to people out there that have teams, how would they ramp up their team quickly? Because when I say quickly, it's like we're 2 weeks in. Usually it might be 4 weeks, but then 4 weeks, then the month's over, and then we're in December, and then we've got Christmas holidays, and then you've missed some of this ramp-up time. Or you missed the go time, pretty much.
I don't know the answer. I don't know what you think, Matty. I think one of the things is just to be honest and have this conversation around how this is how it sort of feels to me, that we're coming out of lockdown, no one's got momentum, everyone's lost hope, exactly what I just said, and we're moving into post-Melbourne Cup, which tends to be take the foot off the pedal traditionally. Move into holiday mode, move into shopping, move into drinking more and partying more and Christmas breakups, and that's just not how this year's going to run.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. What do you think, Matty?
Yeah, I think that it comes down to that feeling of when you work really hard and you commit to something and you give it everything you got, you sleep easy, you rest well. So just educating people that how do you want to finish a year? How do you want to be partying? The party's hollow if you don't put in the work beforehand. So maybe it's like there's an opportunity here to earn an incredible, what an epic time. Over summer, you're going to get to do some of those things, but why don't you earn it? Because if you just coast into it, then, there's not a sense of achievement before you then switch off and relax. I know that maybe there's something in that, but I'm noticing that as well, that just momentum and motivation. There's no intrinsic motivation, and extrinsic motivation's gone because so there's people just, if they're not intrinsically motivated, they're like, what's the point? And so, with a couple of guys I'm coaching, it's like, how can we cultivate this internal motivation? You do it not because you have to, but because it's who you are. So that's what I'm working with.
What do you think that a lot of them, or I mean, not majority, but some, let's say some, and then I can put my caveat in, right? Some people are have been all locked down. I can't wait till I get out of lockdown and blah, I'll do this at A, B, and C. And mate, nothing's happening. And I'm like, those same people are doing shit. And I'm like, whoa, what? You've asked for lockdown to be finished. You've asked for your house arrest to be finished. And it's like, they're not doing anything. And I'm like, whoa, hold on. So it's just the same, it's like the lockdown was just an excuse for their laziness. Where I'm like, look, if you don't want to do it, that's okay. Don't kid yourself or kid anyone else around you. What is it? Just false idealism, or what do you think? Or people just kind of? What do you think? Why? I'm curious to know why that is, because when things have changed, and again, it's been 2 weeks, probably 3-4 weeks for regional, things have changed, and I haven't seen a drastic change of behaviour in say just people in general. Yes, some say people that are hungry, and you're going to find them everywhere, but the people that everyone was bitching and moaning, right, when they were in it, and go, I can't wait, I'm going to do A, B, and C, and it's just nothing now.
I think when you say some, I think it's more than some. I think there's a lot.
Yeah,
there's a lot of people, and they're all saying the how will take care of itself when the why is big enough. And I think people have lost why. It's what Matty was saying. And rather than, I wouldn't use the word motivation, but they've lost inspiration. They've lost a vision for where they want to take their life, their health, their relationships, their career, their business. They've become disconnected from that. And sadly, when that happens, they need to connect to something. And so they connect to the story, the drama maybe that's going on. They connect to the COVID story or the mandate story or the lockdown story or the global, what's that thing called?
The pandemic.
Not economy. Could be economy, but the other thing. What's the other thing? What's the thing with the chimneys and the smoke and the car exhaust?
Corporations?
No.
Industrial revolution?
No. You know what I'm talking about? Environment. Thank you. Environment.
Oh, shit.
Smoke and chimneys? Don't you mean trees and birds?
Yeah, trees and birds.
Greta. I'm talking Greta.
Global warming.
So they connect to something outside of themselves, they go out and start saving the whales rather than save their own self. I think we've talked about this before. There's so many people that are out wanting to save the frogs, yet their own house is in a disarray.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the challenge. I think people have lost hope, they've lost vision, they've lost mission, and they've replaced it with something that's kind of been manufactured by the media.
Yeah, it's like that saying of get your house in order first. And I remember when I was little, my dad would say, "Look, charity starts at home. Like, don't go giving if you're not sorted at home. So charity should start at home, and then same as like get your house in order, and then go okay, then move on. And then I think a lot of people, I think their own house is at times just too confronting." Right, it's too, they don't want to actually do the work, or they don't want to dive in or open it and go, you know what, it's easier. It's not comfortable to do that. So it's more comfortable just to, now that things are open, to go out, party, get drunk, and not actually look at what I really had to look at while I was in lockdown, because there's no other distractions.
I think as well, you've got this... there's always going to be people who will make excuses, but now they've got excuses that will work, which is a little bit disappointing, because it's harder to guide people through those excuses now, because they've got 2 years of believing them. At any point you could just say, no, I'm not going to come to work because of this.
We're running sorry, mate.
No, go.
We're running a team retreat, which we're planning to have up at the summit until there was a shift of plans. We might talk about that later. But I gave my team some pre-work to do, and the pre-work was, this is perfect, right? It was around two things. So, I've got 5 pillars in my model. The first middle is purpose drives the plans that you make, which drives the personality, which drives productivity, which finally drives profit. And so the workbook was around 2 of those pillars, and it was the pillar around purpose. Why? What's your vision? What's your mission as far as you working within Mornington Peninsula Chiropractic Centre? So there was a section on that, getting clear on where do you want to be in 4 months? Where do you want to be in a year or 3 or 5 or 10 years? Both in your relationships, in your health, in your money, in your career within the business, etc. The second part, so getting connected again with hope, with vision, with mission. And the second component was around personality. So we skipped the whole plans bit. Let's just talk about personality. That is, who do you need to be? What character do you need to turn up? And a chunk of that was work around beliefs. What beliefs have you currently got? And I think that's a really interesting topic right now, because I think some of the beliefs that would be in this work maybe weren't around 2 or 3 years ago. Yeah. And so there's simple questions like, you guys have done this work before. I am, success is, relationships are, money is, and fill in the blank, what's the, and then go through those. It was about 12 different statements. Go through those, and which ones of those maybe aren't empowering right now. And you could do a reframe on where the reframe is still holds true for you, but
it's realistic.
It's a better version, right? And so I think that there's for our teams, and that's why I was doing this work, get them reconnected with purpose and vision and mission, and have them do some reframing on some beliefs, some new stories maybe that they've created over the last couple of years. So,
or that have been given to them, that they've had to adopt. There's certain beliefs you have to stay at home. And to not go crazy. You have to believe on some level that you're at risk, and that's adopted. And then suddenly that belief that's guided your behavior, your feelings and emotions for 2 years, suddenly that's just gone. Oh no, we're good now. Out you go. People, I see it. People are walking around and they're scared because they don't understand how this plays out. Then this safety and security feels maybe not as safe and secure as they're being told.
And that whole belief, I'm the master of my own destiny. I can tell you that's been challenged for me. You know, I'll decide. Well, that's changed a little bit.
Ben, how's your last couple of weeks been since we all got together last?
Mate, it's been very interesting, I've got to say. I just wanted to get you. I'm just flipping through my incredible book, actually. Great author, Life CEO: How to Take Charge and Start Doing Your Life's Work, not your busy work.
Shameless plug there.
But I thought I would just.
I thought we agreed we weren't going to do that, Janelle.
No self-promotion.
Get your book out, Janelle.
Oh, just this is my my lovely coffee mug that I made. You can get this on Amazon.
Oh yeah, show us your books,
each, right?
Show us your books, boys.
Mate, my book rack, mate. They're all sold out. It's empty. It's empty. It's empty.
Can't get a copy of our books, mate.
Mate, it's run off. It's mine's on back order at the moment, mate. You just how many copies do you have there? A few there, right?
Mate, it'll be quicker for me to find it. Those that are listening, it'll be worth it in the end.
Mate, did you write it? Do you know where to find it? Yeah. How do you not know where to find it, mate?
But it's a quote. It's a quote here by Bertrand Russell. I would never die for my beliefs because I might be wrong. Yep. And that's the thing around beliefs. They are designed to be in flux. Do you know, like when we hang on to our beliefs so strongly, sometimes they can be pretty damaging. They can be damaging in all different aspects of our life. So beliefs are something that you just want to go, is it resourceful right now? Is it serving me right now, or is it not? And if it's not, well, I wonder whether I could change that belief. And so for people right now, I wonder whether they just need to do some reframing on some beliefs that have been developed, that it's okay to change beliefs.
And you can do it. I think some people don't understand that they can. I mean, at some level, we all believed that Santa Claus was real. And then at some point we stopped believing. So you can unbelieve anything. And
there was a bit of pain in that moment, wasn't there?
Yes.
When they go, we just got to let you know that maybe Santa Claus isn't real, or isn't real, or someone whispers in your ear at school, Santa Claus isn't real. And like there's this but I believe in Santa Claus. And
they would never lie.
Interesting, right? Even though you find out the truth, there's a voice that goes, no, fuck it, I'm going to keep believing.
Yeah.
or the voice of they would never. No, there's no way parents would conspire. Everyone is in on this? No. Tom's just being an asshole. It's him. He's lying to me.
And then you go and tell your parents and they go, well, if you don't believe, he's not real and you don't get any presents. And so you keep the lie going, right?
It's quite.
In your mind.
Did you do that too? How long did you last? I think I got an extra year out of it.
Mate, I still believe.
But it is fascinating that the parallel to that, right? And you can shift beliefs, or you can continue to believe even if there's some pain, or you could be the ones on the other end, like say the parent going, yeah, it's not real, but I am going to keep saying it is real, right? And all the time there is probably people are playing those roles, right? Which is fascinating when you put it into like that context of Santa Claus. It's like people are playing that, but also knowing that as an individual, you can choose to believe what you want to believe, right?
It is interesting that when all signs point to Santa Claus not being real, but people are still hanging on, it's curious. It's curious to watch the psychology to see, how that unfolds.
Because people have gone to war. They maybe haven't died for it, but they've gone to war to defend that belief. And so they've got to keep it up, right? I've put so much at risk, so much at stake to defend that belief. So I like that quote, I'd never die for my beliefs because they could be wrong.
It's really interesting. So certain countries asking their kids, or what history did you learn about? And the wars that maybe those countries maybe did not do great in, or in hindsight we're probably like, oh, we probably went into it and probably not great. The kids don't learn about those wars at all. Like they just got brushed. Yep, it happened. We were there, but that was it. No detail, no nothing. Which is fascinating. Fascinating that they go,
Mate, you are prying open Pandora's box right now. You're about to.
No, it's just interesting. I'm not going to say countries, but talking to some people, and they go, no, we never learned it. And the only reason I say that because Cyrus at the moment, like history buff, like loves kind of the history and working out where things came from and stories and what was this war about, where was this, what countries went in and all of this and our family's from 2 different countries, so it's like, what did you learn about school? And it's interesting comparing kind of what you learned, what did we learn, and it's it's fascinating. Of like, I wonder why. Definitely an intentional reason. But yeah,
mate. So speaking about that, Kat, my partner's one of her studies that she's doing at the moment to finish off her masters is on the First Australians, and so I watched this SBS series on the First Australians. Talk about not the education that I received. You know, that history. Wow. That's just been told a completely different way because it makes it easier for us to sleep at night than having to accept that narrative. So we just don't teach people it.
There's the truth and the version of the truth, right? And who could believe that would be happening? So, it's been around a long time. And now we've seen and I think our listeners may not realise, but the episode that we recorded a couple of weeks ago didn't actually go live because a captain of the ship, Janesh, in going through the edit, decided that it was probably way too off the leash, way too out of school, way too out of class.
In the principal's office, that episode should be called.
It was definitely off into the principal's office. So, this and guess what? You're never going to get to hear what we talk about.
You know what?
But it was super juicy.
If we do a live event, though, if we do a live event, Ben, I reckon if we do a live event for our listeners, sometime in the future, that will be no holds barred. We might not record it. We probably won't record it. But if we do a live event where listeners can come, then sure. But
I reckon if we did a live event, we need like that 3-second delay where you've got some guy
pull the plug
going beep, 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 beep. Because that episode, if we'd actually put that out and decided to beep out all the things that would have ended us up in jail or in court, mate, it would have just been one big beep.
That's why I rushed out and bought a 4-wheel drive van that can go anywhere. That was out of necessity. I'm like, I got to get out of Dodge.
Yeah.
We're in trouble.
I tried to stay in the middle of that conversation.
You did.
You did really well.
And then I listened to it and I'm like, it's like you might not be the bully at school, but you just stood there and watched it. You're still in trouble. I felt like that kid. I was like, we're all going down.
You're complicit, something.
Well, he's the captain, so he has to go down with the ship. Yeah. Even though you didn't say anything, you're the one hosting this call, so it's all on you. Mate.
I was really trying my best, and I thought I did. And then I was like, it doesn't matter how hard I fucking tried. And I was like, nah.
Yeah.
It was good, though. It was, I felt lighter at the end of that conversation.
Yes.
I think, and I think that's important that people, maybe they're not speaking openly on podcasts that are going live around the world, but people need to be able to talk about some of these things that we're not meant to talk about. And, and a lot of it is feelings associated with rules that have been put in place that we don't understand. And so, of course, we're going to have our opinions and our feelings. But people are scared, really scared to share their opinion right now, which makes me want to share mine more. Fortunately, we've got someone like Janesh that oversees it all just to make sure we're not shooting ourselves in the foot.
The sensible one.
Thank you, Janesh.
Yeah, well, I don't think it was shooting ourselves in the foot. I think it was cutting both our legs off with a chainsaw is the feeling I got after listening to that one. I was like, ooh.
Did you learn anything?
Yeah, I'm glad we don't go live. Like, this is not I'm glad we don't do a live stream.
It was good. It was a good episode.
It was.
Sorry, listeners, but that one's going to stay in the can.
Yep. Let's looking forward to the next couple of weeks in terms of, as Ben, you were saying, it is that time of year. It's interesting where things are open, but it's also going into warmer days, longer days. Having said that, it's raining today, but like the longer days, the sun's up, and I think there's a definitely I'm seeing it. I think just because I want to see it. There's a festiveness in the air of like people just want to hang out and party, and there's also the catching up on lost time. So like weekends are filled, and then also come to December's a busy time for everyone's calendar. And I want to hear your thoughts in terms of both of you. What does the next 2 weeks look like? Is it similar? Is it it's the same old? Have you already shifted gears into that festive summer type of feel?
For me, we're pushing harder in business. Do you know, like we are adopting that mindset of let's go hard to Christmas, through Christmas. We'll still take the week off and turn right off for a week, but we'll turn right back on. I don't know what it is, 3rd or 4th of Jan, something like that, and then go hard through January, start of Feb, and then we'll take kind of a breath at the end of Feb, when most people are just starting to get their momentum back. So that's kind of where we're at. Same in health, really, and with family, and all those sorts of things. We'll just push harder rather than ease off at the moment. What about you, Matty?
Mate, exactly the same. So ramping up, and then January, February, with the summit is just full on. So same February. So push, try and do it all, connect with people and work really hard up until February 4th. And then also in the time that I have available working on this van, so that February 4th, I can get in that thing and I can work remotely 10 hours a week from the van anywhere in Australia, and I'm just going to drive and see where I can go. That's the plan. But yeah, exactly the same. Ramp up. I've been sort of in holiday mode or stuck at home for so long that it feels very weird to just go back into chilling mode. It's like, no, I'm ready to turn the gears over and really go for it until Feb.
How about you, Jeanette?
I want it all. I want it all. It's definitely where it's probably I felt it from last Wednesday to now. It's like I'm on, and I love it. I love that chaos, and it's on. Things are going. Things are moving, which is great, and I love that. But it's also the same thing of going, I am going to have people over on the weekend. I want it. I want it all. I don't want to just be on in it and then go, oh, you know what? I'm not going to. The day's good. We're not going to go out for drinks. We're not going to do a picnic in the park or whatever. It's trying to go, look, how do we do it? How do we do it all? But it is push hard. Push hard to definitely end of the year. Not switching off at the start of December, which traditionally we do and just coast, pushing hard till end of December, because there's a lot on the table that's available. And then, but during that time, it shouldn't be. I don't want to push hard and not enjoy. I still want to enjoy, but I think it takes work. But you need I want it both. I want it all. And I think it's possible, but I think people usually go it's one or the other.
I think we were talking about that at the beginning, that when you work really hard and then you have a break, you feel this sense of achievement. It's more there's more joy there. There's more happiness because you feel like you earned it, as opposed to just falling into another holiday. So I definitely know that feels good for me.
Yep. No, I reckon you're right. You're right.
I know we're going to probably wrap up because Matt has to go visit his parole officer. He's got his anklet on, and he's we can't talk about that either on this. We all signed an NDA on Matt's offences, but we don't discriminate here on the Lifelong Learner podcast.
Sounds like you're discriminating right now by sharing that.
No, I'm not discriminating. I'm just fact sharing, mate. Fact sharing.
There are going to be listeners that are going to go, is that fact or fiction?
You know what? You can choose.
It's hard to work that out these days.
And you can choose what you want to believe.
Whatever is resourceful for you.
Yeah, whatever
Contact
works.
the source and find out from me. I'll tell you.
Right. Or
Message Matty direct.
But is the source always correct? Right? Or is the source just going to tell you?
Are we closing up a podcast or opening up a new one? What are we doing here?
Thanks for joining us again, everyone. Till next time.
Thanks, guys. Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Lifelong Learner. If you like this episode and want to know more and hear other episodes, head over to lifelonglearnerpodcast.com, where you can subscribe to our newsletter, where you'll be the first to know when new podcast episodes come out. And if you want to say hello, tell us a joke, or ask us a question, send us an email at hello@lifelonglearnerpodcast.com. Thanks again.